I remember those days.
Fire up the rock and roll band.
It was hard, Andy.
We're live.
Ready?
Yep.
We will call the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting for August 22nd, 2022 to order with roll call, please.
David,
Here.
Bill,
Here.
Joyce,
Here.
Becky,
Here.
Rob, Andy.
Here,
Somebody like to make a motion to excuse Rob?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Andy, then David.
Yes.
This was to excuse Rob. Okay, David,
Here. Yes. It's a replay.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
David, would you like to lead us in prayer,
Yes.
please?
Lord, thank you for this wonderful day you provided for us, Lord. And Lord, in our village tonight, remember what you always said, love thy neighbor, and love thy neighbors throughout our village tonight, Lord. And be with our council and our mayor tonight and our law enforcement, Lord. And we'll touch them and protect them, Lord. And be with all the country tonight with your healing hand. In Jesus' wonderful, wonderful name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Now, I'd like to have an motion to accept the meeting minutes from a council meeting held on August 8th, 2022, and a safety block watch work session held on August 9th, 2022.
Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Becky, and then Bill.
Okay, and
Roll
Bill.
call.
Becky was first.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, and now she's,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
okay.
I look over, I was wondering what, when Joyce looked at me, she's like, I'm like,
Becky.
what?
Becky.
Or Becky, I'm sorry.
I was pulling you over tonight or something, I don't know.
This is gonna be a bad night.
Yeah, oh, no,
It's gonna be a good night.
We had a weekend.
yeah, something.
We're good.
Okay, mayor's report, I have nothing for this evening. President Pro Tem, Andy?
I don't have anything for this evening. I'm going to hold my comments till the individual committee reports and the legislation.
Okay. We don't have anybody for public comment. Mr. Corbin, I guess, is unavailable to attend this evening. No executive session. That takes us to our sheriff report. Jack Dill, oh, wait, we have the sheriff with us.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here tonight and give Jack a little bit of break for the night. But excuse me if I'll stay on longer meetings I can. I might have to sneak out. But I brought the 2-week reports. I know you guys had one on the 8th, and we'll just go over some of the things that you guys are aware of. We had one 911 911 hang up. We had one animal complaint. We had a civil dispute. We had 2 civil processes. We did 2 courtesy transports. We did 1 courtesy process, I apologize. 3 disabled vehicles we handled, 1 disturbance, and on the EMS and fire side, we assisted them as well. You know, we had an emergency, behavioral emergency, we had a fall, an ill person, a medical alarm, a mental status change, just kind of somebody having some issues. We did have 1 fire service call, we had 1 wires down, and we did 2 follow-ups the last couple weeks, 4 juvenile complaints. 1 narcotics issues, dealing with some narcotics, 2 open doors, 1 prisoner transport, we had 1 suspicious person, we had 3 suspicious vehicles that we checked, and 2 threats or harassments called. We did traffic parking violations, 2 of those. Traffic stops, there was 12 stops in the last 2 weeks. 1 trespassing call. 1 violation of a court order that we had to address, and then there was 10 violations of village ordinances that we've responded to, and 1 welfare check for a total of 60 instances. So, so far, everything's going good in the last couple weeks. Another reason that I wanted to be here this evening as I understand that there might be something on the agenda to address the allowing of people to carry weapons into this council. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew where I stood on it, that there's laws that were put into effect to protect you guys and to give you that safe place in here. Please take that into consideration as that you talk about that ordinance that you want to allow. This council makes decisions what's best interest for the village in whole, and sometimes people can get heated or people can feel uneasy, and I think allowing people to carry weapons in such meetings like that can cause others to feel uneasy. So I just wanted to let you know my stance on that for the village, that it's something that I support, and please take advantage of those laws that are put in place to allow you to restrict that in those quarters. Other than that, that's all I have to say on it this evening, unless you guys have any questions of me or the sheriff's office.
Just, are you finding things with school, any issues? Well, other than, some of the things they were talking about earlier, the bus is running very late, but other than that, are you having problems or?
Some schools aren't even in yet. We've only had masterminds in for a couple of days, so knock on wood that it goes well. We haven't had anything reported in, so.
I got a question too about the carjackings. I know in Franklin County, the teens, have we had any trouble throughout the county with teens and carjackings?
Well, not in our county. We had
Okay.
some other things with some thefts, but not really, not carjackings. We haven't had any issues with that. But I know that is something in Central
Yeah.
Ohio, not even in Central Ohio, we're facing it in our entire state. And a lot of it does, have teen involvement. They seem to be a little bit more, the best word to use is that they more involved in that, because I don't know if it's because it's harder for teens to be held responsible for what they do. They seem to, when it comes to charging them and putting them into places of restriction, there's a lot more that goes into that other than, an adult that violates the law, we get probable cause, we place them in jail. It takes a lot, and they're youth, they're still developing, they're not total educated like adults, they make bad decisions and there's just
I know in
a lot.
Franklin County, it seems like they just slap them on the wrist and put them right back on the streets again. It's sad to say,
We actually had an incident a while back in this county when we had arrested, some teens that were involved in some things, and come to find out they were actually facing the same things over in Franklin County that we had to deal with over here, and they were taken to JDC.
Appreciate your answer.
I have a quick question. So what laws would you say are in place right now to make a gun-free zone, us feel safe? And what laws would you say are in place for that?
What laws are in?
Yeah, you said there was laws
Yeah,
in
there's a
place
Ohio
now.
Revised Code that allows the government and schools and government facilities to restrict the access of people carrying weapons in.
Right, and that's the way it is now.
Yes.
But we're considering changing that, and you said there's laws in place to.
I'm talking about those laws that, that allows us to take action on those that would carry in those facilities. That is the current law.
Right.
This board does have, or this council does have the ability to make that ordinance if you want to. That's why I showed up today, just to let you know my concern to allow people to do that.
What is that concern?
The concern is that this council holds meetings and makes decisions for the residents of this village, and sometimes there's people in here that might be unhappy. And for those that have to make that decision, if you have somebody that gets disgruntled or gets angry, to allow them to be here with a weapon in hand could make others feel uneasy that had to make that decision. That's just my feelings on it. That's why I said that, just take that into consideration if you're.
In other words,
thinking
your
about it.
concern is somebody might fly off the handle, get angry, right? And which can happen, which we know.
Very well can happen.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Very well. That's why they don't allow them in courthouses and things of that nature. So that's why I just wanted to bring to the council's attention my feelings on it.
I have a question, please. So, in Madison County, just to confirm for my sake, are there any other government buildings that allow firearms?
To my knowledge.
Okay, because I tried to research, as others have done, in the state of Ohio, and I couldn't find any, but I wanted to make sure that I was on the right track there, so thank you for that clarification.
Anything else? Okay, thank you. That takes us to Law Director report. I don't believe we have anything. And Utilities Clerk, Ms. Vance, what have you
Okay.
got for us?
Not much, just the usual. The delinquents are, running a little under 6,000. We're waiting on about $2,700 from the county. So there's still money there. I always encourage, the, people to go there. There's money, there's assistance there.
What's the best way of getting a hold of those folks?
Good question. That is 740-852-3511.
So you may have handed that information out a few times before.
Oh, yeah. And if you didn't catch that, it's 3511. They're just so helpful. And people usually have to leave a message and, then they'll get back with you. I learned today also it may be, not Bridges, but Job and Family Services. They have, when you call, you put in the figures, your income, and they'll give you, they can kind of give you a predetermination that you may qualify. So then that's when you set up your appointment. So I thought that was nice. And there was somebody that got qualified call today and got qualified today. So that's
Very cool.
nice.
Pretty good on a Monday, isn't it?
Pretty good.
I know, I think so. Yeah, they're pretty busy over there, so that's why you have to leave a message. We're gonna replace some meters on Thursday. Thanks goes out to, of course, our guys as always, George and Aaron. But the county's gonna drive the back truck for us, so they'll have their, day pretty busy, and so we really appreciate that. Knock out some more. The last time that they went out with the back truck, it was, kind of a tricky job. They had to dig up some concrete and so forth, so it's, not as quick as, we want it to be, but they're doing what they can. They I think Tom will probably tell, some other things, but what they've been working on, but they did have a couple leak checks today.
Why don't you tell about your pickup today, this afternoon, of meters? That's kind of important.
I was like, what are you talking about, Mayor? Yeah, Arbor Homes came and got 29 meters today. They want to put them in a little bit earlier so they can thoroughly test out everything before, the sale happens. And I met Nathan, he's one of the project managers over there. Pretty nice guy. So that was nice to see those. I just see 29 meters going out, which will, make more come in.
Cha-ching.
That's right. I think that's about it. Yeah, thanks, Courtney, for reminding me that was all. Okay, that'll be it. I could go on and on, but I'll stop.
All right. Yeah, having a wacky meeting tonight.
Yeah. Oh, happy early birthday to George Anderson and
Yeah.
Tom Byrne. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right. I'll sing, I'll sing later. That's right, me too.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And so now, after much months, we will have a report from our village administrator, Mr. Tom Byrne.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mhm.
Council, I want to thank the members of council that did stop by my office and share your wit and your wisdom with me. It helps, believe me. If you see a white pickup truck in the back, I'm here. So come on in and take a seat and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I want to thank Courtney and Mayor Darlington for their help. This week's been quite the whirlwind, but we're getting it down. And Misty and George and Aaron doing a fantastic job. So they really have from what I've seen, a very strong commitment to this village. And you should be proud to have these folks on your team. So I know I am. It helps a lot. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, Tom, how's it feel to get that first couple of weeks? You getting it all settled, what you're wanting and everything?
I
And
haven't seen the check yet.
It's in the mail.
There you go.
Very, very.
For what that's
slow
worth.
mail.
I hear that a lot, I do.
It's exactly what I thought it was gonna be, David.
Yeah.
If you think everything's gonna stay the same, then wait a minute, cause something's gonna pop up, so. We had a good water line break today over at, Nutrien, we took care of, 2-inch line over there, and a lot of water we lost, but we got it, boys jumped right in there and we got it fixed.
Okay,
Even got mud on my fence.
Oh, no.
thank you. And welcome. Nothing from Mr. Hale.
I do have something, not for Mr. Hale, but, kind of go towards what Misty was talking about, is, as we start to talk about budget time, you guys all know that I do reach out to the vendors to kind of see how much is increases, how much decreases, how much, revenues come in, or what expenditures are. So I think this was like a great little note that I received from Arbor Homes. So we asked, I have to ask the developers on how much are they gonna be completing by the end of 2022. They intend to close another 15 homes, by the end of this year, and they have closed two so far. They also stated that, or I asked how many will be built in 2023 and be completed. They are intending to have all 47 homes completed by the end of 2023. So that's good. And the average values of the homes being constructed over there are between 290,000 and up. So, like I said, property tax, water usage, RETA income, so, that's really good for the start of the end of this year and the beginning of next. So, that's really good. They hope to have all of them done by the end of next year,
It's incredible.
faster than what I think everybody intended.
It's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, Tom and I went out and met Weather Division area people last week, and he was very appreciative of Tom Hale and Christie's work. He said he wished everybody could be like that. They were so very, very helpful and continue to be. And he's very happy to be here, and he does want to schedule probably in the next couple of weeks a time for council to come out and meet and see the different floor plans. He said by the time, like in a couple of weeks, they should have several of the different floor plans so that everybody can kind of get an idea of what's gonna be out there. And I think he said there'd be donuts, so.
Well, if you drove past there, if you guys haven't recently,
Yeah.
it's really something to see.
It really is, yeah.
I mean, it
It's out there
really is a-
last weekend.
If you had imagined, especially when I've driven out there and had to turn around in that little cul-de-sac, to go all the way around and see those houses, I mean, it's pretty amazing how much they have done. And they were working, me and my husband and kids just started taking a drive in town, and we went around there, and there was probably, I don't know, maybe 2 crews that were working in there on a Saturday. So, I mean, they were working.
I know my brother John and John said, man, this town's gonna start growing, so it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Okay, that takes us to your report, fiscal report.
Okay, well, I don't have a lot either. I didn't receive any comments or concerns or questions from council. I assume that still remains. The only thing, and I think Andy will touch on the budgets, we will be getting into budget season, of course. We have our committee meetings coming in the first part of September. Appropriations, again, are below what's expected. Revenues are above what's expected. With this report, it'll be interesting to see where our budget will hit for 2023. So I'm pretty happy to see where that's gonna be. Again, the ones that I sort of look at is, let's see, income tax. They are coming in as expected, no delays on that. You will see things on your payment listings, for the mowing services that we have provided. You'll see payment to that. Some electrical work that was done down at the sewer plant. And the big one is, gasoline and fuel that was needed at the service garage. And, some Buckeye State Pipe and Supplies on some supplies that we needed for the meter installations. So with that said, if I can have a motion to approve the appropriation status, the revenue status, the receipt listing status, the payment listing, the reader report, cash summary by fund, and the comparison of budget and appropriations.
You have that motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
That was David and
Joyce,
Joyce.
roll call?
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
or Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
and Bill.
Yes.
And I'll generate this, I don't have my printouts up here, so I'll capture your signatures at your committee meetings.
Okey-doke. Takes us to our committee reports. Finance, Andy?
I don't have too much to add, as that was a pretty spot-on summary of everything that's going on. The only thing that I would touch on would be legislation this evening as it relates to finance. We're trying very hard to make sure that council has options when it comes to sourcing the remainder of the funds for the water tower. It is really, really, really important for us to shop around. You know, we're looking for the best bang for the buck. I keep saying that. This allows us tonight to go forth and at least apply and go after money, which is at a greatly reduced interest rate. That's not to say we necessarily borrow it. We may have other things come through in the future because we're trying like heck to get after those too. But, and again, it's important to have options, and we'll ultimately decide, come back here and decide what makes the most sense in the circumstances. So I'm looking forward to getting underway, as Courtney said, in budget season. I would ask that all the committees think about things they can realistically do or use or need in, I guess it's fiscal year '23. I can't even believe I'm saying that. So next year, so that we can appropriately budget for it. Well, obviously, it goes into our capital improvement plan, and we'll go from there. But I'm excited to wade into stuff here in September.
And can I add something real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
So like what Andy said is the EPA, you know, what the legislation that you guys will find in here is gonna be on the first reading. The reason why that one, you know, we have to, when he says, you know, we obviously will want to go for the grants first so that we don't have to borrow. This EPA thing happens to only be live and applied for within like a couple months.
It's
So
a
it's not
really
like-
important call out because we only have a window to get it in, and if we don't, then we're out of luck basically until next year, and the terms could change. So we have to at least talk to them. We don't necessarily have to take the money, but we have to at least talk to them and get it underway.
Yes.
And any,
Apply.
any
question
reason,
about
realize
that.
then we just gotta reach out and see what they're wanting to do on the loan, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, we can talk about it during legislation, but yeah, we're very optimistic on the terms of the loan, so that's good. So that's a plus. What we're still trying to figure out is a lot of timing with some of these grants that they could overlay really nicely and on top of one another, and we don't want to ruin our chances for other grants that could do that. But this is pretty reasonable all under the circumstances, and we just got to make this window to apply. After that, we should be all right. And we ultimately, again, to reinforce, we don't have to take the money. We just need to have it sort of moving through the process.
Right.
Well, I had a question about it, but I can wait until the resolution is read, or should I ask now?
You can ask now.
I was just curious in reading it. I wasn't at the council meeting where this was brought up once before, and I thought they said, yes, you could go
Yes, we
ahead
did.
and apply. But then now I see it's being put into a resolution where you can apply and also accept and enter into a loan agreement by this resolution.
Correct. So this resolution here, let me pull it out. So this resolution is, yes, you guys did make a motion, but the EPA wants to have official legislation.
I think that's kind of an important call out is they came back to us and said, we need to have it written down and passed by council in order for us to apply.
Right.
It's not enough to just have it in your meeting minutes.
Yes.
But with the way it's written, does that mean, you know, once we apply, we've already passed a resolution that we can accept it and enter into this contract?
Well, how I always run it as your clerk of council is that you guys will always apply and then you will always accept. So that's how I run it.
Agreed.
Is that, you know, because what, in some cases, you may not use it. You may apply for it today, and then like, say, 6 months, because we all know how loans and grants work, you may not see that until a year later. So I always want to make sure it's fresh, like tonight, there's gonna be a motion to accept the Army Corps. You guys give me the motion to apply for it. You are now going to accept the monies. Okay, so, yeah, there is a big difference, with applying, and, you know, with the motion, they wouldn't accept that. The EPA said they need to have legislation. So yes, this will come back around for you guys to accept it. It won't probably be this year that we may know, it'll probably be next year. but it will come back.
Okay, so we need to have a motion to accept the Army Corps grant.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a motion to accept the Army Corps grant for the construction of the water tower. And of course, that was the 75% would be paid, to construct the water tower. We are responsible for the 25%. The 25% is part of what this legislation is, but the other part was from the HARPA money that we got, which is the $187,000 that will go towards that. With inflation, that may play a really important role in finances of, are we only gonna, apply for $260,000 for the remainder, or will it be $300,000?
And that is the problem. We're chasing the moving target on this thing, and it is really hard to pin down. And the sad truth of the matter is the duration of the project's 3 years. So will not be built tomorrow, and we're constantly having to just sprint, trying to just even keep up and sort of stay in place. So that's the problem with this inflation thing and applying for all this stuff and not having, everything completely nailed down. Is we just got to make windows and we're
So the grant from the county won't be decided until the beginning of next year.
next year.
So
Yeah.
we can't let this one go past if we can get we have to do, like Andy keeps saying, and I've always said, is I don't wanna borrow one penny from anybody. But if that doesn't come into play and we don't get a grant from the county, which was a full ride, then we have to talk about how we're gonna fund the rest of it.
Right.
Cause it is our responsibility.
Yep.
To fund it, and we only have to do the 25%, which honestly, it is very, very, rare to have a sort of funding like that, cause we've never had that funding before. And that's 25% of it, so that's really a great opportunity for a new replacement. So the motion is to accept an Army Corps grant, for the construction of the water tower.
I'll give you that.
I'll second. Oh, go ahead, Becky.
Who was second?
Yeah.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay, Bill? Okay.
Roll call. Try this again.
Yes.
You just seconded that motion.
Oh, I seconded it? Oh, okay, I didn't know that. You
Your mouth didn't move, but you did.
Okay, so that was Andy that placed the
Yeah,
motion.
yeah.
Bill was second. Is
Yeah,
that
we'll go
correct?
with that.
Okay. Becky
Yes.
was a yes. Andy was a yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And Joyce?
Yes.
Okay. That takes us to Pleasant Township. David,
We don't meet again till after Labor Day, so we'll have a meeting then.
okay. Squad, Rob, and he is not here. Fire, Bill?
I haven't had our meeting yet this month. Should have it Thursday.
Okey-doke. Water, wastewater, Becky?
Well, nothing really new since our last meeting. I want to thank Misty for her report earlier. Our next meeting will be on September the 7th, Wednesday at 2:30. And, yeah.
Okay. Street, Andy?
I don't have too much to report other than thanks to Tom and, of course, George and Aaron. I was walking my dog very early in the morning, and they were already out looking at a street issue at the corner of New and, I'm sorry, not New, Friend and Market. And good to see everyone in agreement, and we hope to get that one fixed as soon as we possibly can. The next, actually, it is patched, but to be clear, the section replaced. The next streets meeting will be Wednesday, the 7th at 8 a.m.
Parks and Rec, Becky?
Yes. I do have a few things from there. Our next meeting, I'll get that out of the way first, will be September the 7th at 7 p.m. But I just wanted to mention, I know last meeting I talked about we were coming up on our Special Olympic softball tournament. That went really well. Thank you for all that attended. I know I can't thank Bill and Rob enough for all they have done with Parks and Rec. Just super active on that committee and really giving of their time and their money and everything. I want to thank Misty for coming out and working concession stand too. That was nice. And the American Legion for the flag raising. It was just a really good event. And thank you, Mayor, for stopping in. That was nice to see you there. I do want to mention this, let's see here. Saturday, the 27th, we are showing the animated version of Addams Family 2 at Mason Park. It's getting dark a little earlier, so the movie will probably start about 8:45. Kids, we encourage them to come, a half an hour or so early, around 8:15. We're kind of having a theme. I mentioned this before. Obviously, it's the Addams Family, so some of us are going to be dressed up. Kids are welcome to get dressed up as well. And we'll have some giveaways and fun things for the kids there too. So I hope we have a good turnout at our last movie night of the year. And as far as the park goes, I have a little meeting with Marcy tomorrow to discuss some ideas and things. And we are meeting with an engineer this Friday to discuss, and hopefully Tom will be there, and I know you wanted Jeff or George and the guys to be out there too. We'll probably do a little drive-through of the park. But we're gonna discuss the planning of new things out of the park with that grant money that we got and all the extra money that we've been raising and all the money we anticipate raising in the future. We wanna do a really good comprehensive plan of everything we want, put it all together, and then let people get on board with our big idea. So we are actually beginning work on that this Friday, so I'm super excited about that. And then, let's see here. I don't know if I thanked Jeff when I mentioned the Special Olympics. He did so much work out there. If no one's been out there, go out to the park. Jack goes out there all the time and tells Jeff, like, this is the best the park has ever looked. And, he's really proud of it. He is working really hard out there.
You can tell a person that's really dedicated to their goal or their mission, because he came in on, it was either Monday or Tuesday, and he knew that I was out there, and he said, so what could I have done different? Is there anything I could have done different? I'm like, no, it was amazing. It looks great out there. You did a wonderful job. You should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah.
But you can tell people when they really are caring about what they're doing, so
We've
kudos.
been visiting, I mentioned it before, but we've been visiting a lot of local parks just to get some good ideas. Even drove past some daycares of what kind of swing sets they have and just little things we can do along the pathway and just all kind of things. So I'm really excited to get that started. And the mayor also gave me some more good news that we just got another little $4,000 aquatic, I can't say that word very good, ODNR grant. Now that won't be for the park, but it will be for an event that we plan coming up next year. So that's really exciting too. We have a pretty active committee. We've been doing, lots of events, movie nights and summer jam and other things. We hope to add more. And I know David asks every single time he's here about Family Feud, and we always defer to Jack because we want the sheriff's department versus council. And as our first match, and Jack has the software and everything, so he's promised us. So I don't know if he's told you guys.
Stay on him, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, stay on him, and then, we kind of want to challenge the
I'm looking
sheriff's
forward to it.
department to the first match. So I think that would be fun and entertaining for everybody. But I think that's all I have to round table.
So we need a motion to accept the aquatics grant.
Oh.
Do you need to read it?
A motion to, well, let's do that. A motion to accept the aquatics grant totaling $4,014.26.
Is there a motion?
Motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
So we're gonna let Becky first and Bill second.
Okay, I guess I'll take second again.
Yeah.
Didn't say it then. Andy,
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
And Becky.
Yes. And I do want to say real quick, we will have more money. We made some money off of the Special Olympics, but I want to finish out the last movie night and combine all that money, and then I'll turn it in at the next council meeting.
Okay, then I'll wait to send the right ones. Okay.
Okay?
Then I also was asking, and I'll be talking with Becky about this tomorrow, but Serve Ohio gives out grants for Make a Difference Day, which is always the fourth Saturday in October. And I think we've done one here, haven't we?
Yeah.
And so we can ask for up to $5,000, and so I would like to ask for permission to apply for that grant.
Yep, so that's a motion to apply for the Serve Ohio grant, which is Make a Difference Day, totaling up to $5,000.
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second.
Becky,
Joyce.
Joyce, Billy didn't get in there.
I know, I was trying to let him get the first.
I just
I
kept
kept
my mouth
looking
shut.
at
that
him.
time.
Thought I'd take the pressure off of it.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, record of retention, oh, were you finished, Becky? Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. Record of retention, Andy.
No further action since when we initially met. Our next one will be Friday, September the 9th at 8 a.m.
Nuisance and abatement, Joyce.
Thank you. The committee was able to meet, I believe it was, the 16th, it's been a couple weeks. All members were present. We discussed the many tags that were delivered by Jack. And out of all of the tags, we now have a spreadsheet. May I? I think I
Yeah, just go ahead and take the one you gave me.
Thank you. I'll give it back, I promise. Out of all of the tags, which I think we had 18 violations that we were to follow up on. And out of those violations, majority of them have been resolved. We have, I think, 3 that we're still waiting for the owner to respond back to us. We don't want to tag somebody if they're in the process. That just doesn't make any sense to me. As long as they're making some semblance of effort. We have, I've talked to some of the village residents that have reached out to me, and I've assured them, sometimes we can go in and mow some of these lawns that are abandoned, sometimes we can't. And in the one we have open right now, we are not legally allowed to go on that property and do anything, is my understanding, because this property has been abandoned and it's up for sheriff's auction, sheriff's sale, whatever it's called. And so I've reached out to the village resident that has been very concerned about this, and I have assured her we will be following up with the powers that be, maybe at the sheriff's department, as to when we can contact an owner, because right now there is none. So, Courtney, did I explain that
That's correct.
correctly? Okay,
Yeah.
I just found out. I've had the opportunity to meet with Tom twice in the last 2 weeks, and Courtney joined us as well today. And we knocked some more things out. There are a couple that we've had to tag again for the second time, unfortunately, because we've either had no response or we've talked to them and they're just ignoring us. So I'm not gonna call out any names, but I'm going to say this. We have still a resident in Mount Sterling that still has chickens. And I had a committee member call me last week, and he found them. Told me where he saw them. Courtney followed up. I believe the gentleman called her back today. We will tag. We will pursue. I'm not going to read this. This is, the general offense code is number 618.16 for anyone that is watching. That, and I could go through the list, but I'm not going to. But any fowl or poultry in any pen, yard, lot, or other enclosure situated within the municipality, except by special permissions in writing from the legislative authority of the municipality. That's a mouthful. You just can't do it. I realize we're in a community where we have farms, and I realize there are 4-H's close by, and I apologize, but this is an ordinance that we cannot overlook any longer. All of the other residents in the village that have previously had chickens have removed them, and we're grateful for that. But we still have one that has not. So this, whoever violates this section is guilty of a minor misdemeanor. Please don't let it come to that. We want to work with you. Anyone who has issues with any ordinance, we certainly want to work with you. And that's why between Courtney and Tom and myself, we will be reaching out to you verbally by phone, and and more than one time, I might say, to try to reach you, to see what we can do to either assist you or, help you understand the ordinance as it states in our offenses code. We will go far and above our normal protocol to do whatever we can do to help the village residents. That is what I feel that we're here for, and I stand by that, and I think other council members will as well. We're a committee that is dedicated to this village, especially when we have our own committees that that we lead. And, we don't want to be the bad guy. We're not Nazis. We just want the village to run legally and efficiently. Be it here, be it at the Parks and Rec. I mean, we just want things to go smoothly. And I will also say we do not respond to insults on Facebook. So, you can put them out there if you want. That's okay. I don't see them unless someone sends them to me, but that's not the way to get stuff done. I know I sound frustrated a little bit. I am, because this is just a problem that's not going away. But on a positive note, I will say, out of all 18 offenses, we only have 2 more that we have to retag, and then we can hopefully get resolution to that. Otherwise, anything and everything we have on here, we have contacted the owners, and they are working with us to get resolution to the violation.
Sounds like Joyce, at least they're responding, majority of them, though.
I
That's a
think they
good
are.
thing. Yeah,
Wouldn't you
good.
say, Courtney? I think they're responding. I think it's just a matter of a lot of people don't know what the ordinances are. And how would they know if they don't go onto the website and look at them? So, I think the village residents are responding very well. And I know I had a couple of incidents with village residents where I had to apologize to one of them. They were tagged incorrectly, and that was my error. And the other one that was tagged, it actually was not her. It was an upper apartment where she lives. She was very gracious. She just wanted to make sure she was following the ordinances in the way that they should read. And didn't want to do anything wrong, basically, is what she said. Once we, got done with our conversation, we laughed and talked, and, I feel like I made another friend, and that's good. That's good stuff. So we appreciate those residents that are responding and working with us to avoid any further tags being processed. So we want to thank the Sheriff's Department and Jack for all of their efforts and what they do. I don't think Jack's ever questioned it when we give him the tags. He gets them taken care of that in a timely manner, so that's good stuff too. Tom has stepped up, and he's willing to, along with one of our committee members, make some house calls. It's not something we like to do, but if we can't get a hold of him, we want to make every effort. So they'll be working on that. And if anybody has any questions for nuisance and abatement, call Town Hall, and Misty or Courtney or Marcy will get the message, and we will get your calls returned. On that, I am done.
Okay, thank you. Safety Block Watch, Bill?
Haven't had a meeting this month. Our next meeting will be the day after Labor Day. And that would be
6th.
Thank you.
September 6th, 7 p.m.
Okay. Planning and zoning, Andy.
We have not met. We will be meeting tomorrow night, which, by the way, is August 23rd, in case this is in the future for some folks, at 6 p.m. And then in the future, we will be meeting right before Bill's Safety Committee in theory, on September the 6th as well, at 6 p.m. So look to see you there.
Okay. That takes us to ordinances and resolutions. Would you like to read ordinance 2022-11?
This is ordinance 2022-11. An ordinance authorizing handguns to be carried in town hall by qualifying adults and subject to certain restrictions. This is placed on the first motion.
Is there a motion for this ordinance 2022-11?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Bill, Becky?
Roll call?
Let's see, I think I had you last. Okay, David?
No.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
No.
Becky?
Yes.
Andy?
No.
3 noes and 2 yeses.
Okay.
Motion's failed.
Motion has failed. Okay. That takes us to ordinance 2022-13.
This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or her designee to hire, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong with the last name, okay?
Yep.
Stacy Bachnicki.
Bachnicki? Bachnicki.
Okay, so let me rephrase that again. Okay, ordinance authorizing the mayor or her designee to hire Stacy Bachnicki as the assistant water clerk for the village of Mount Sterling of Madison County, Ohio, and declaring this as an emergency.
Okay, just a note, we actually interviewed 11 candidates, and we want to hire her because she has the most difficult name to pronounce. No, I thought it was going to be very tasking to interview that many people, but I will tell you, it was very enlightening to meet residents or, people that were interested in the village of Mount Sterling. Really, a lot of really strong, good candidates, so I thank the Water Committee for allowing me to do such a thing, along with Misty, and I feel like we made a good choice. So on that, I'd like to ask for a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance 2022-13.
Have that motion.
I'll second.
David?
Yep.
Andy?
Yep. Roll call?
Okay, Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes?
David?
Yes.
Okay, now I need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
You have that motion?
I'll second.
Okay.
Joyce? Andy?
Yep. Roll call?
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay, now I need a motion for passage for ordinance 2022-13.
Have that motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
David? Becky?
Roll call?
Becky?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-13 is passed.
Wonderful. We'll look for bringing her to our next council meeting.
When will she start?
Somebody's happy.
Enthusiasm.
So just want to let you know that the reason we asked for emergency is Misty has a lot coming up in her
Yeah, she
social
does.
world.
She
And
does.
we want to be able to allow her to do that without having to think that the sky is falling over Village Hall in the water department area.
Don't worry about it, I really do.
Yeah, we know you do, more than you should. So she deserves a much-needed break. But
Thanks, Misty.
yes.
You're welcome, Courtney, thank you.
Okay, the next is a resolution. This is resolution 2022-06. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into an Ohio EPA water supply revolving loan agreement on behalf of the village of Mount Sterling for the design of the 150,000 gallon elevated storage facility project and designating a dedicated repayment source of a loan financing. And this is on the first reading.
Does anybody want to give me that motion?
You have that motion?
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Joyce and Andy,
Okay.
roll call then?
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
and Becky.
Yes.
Passed on the first motion.
Okay. That takes us
First
to,
reading, sorry.
roundtable.
I gotta bring up what we did at the NAS. We had our pastor on the dunk tank for the back-to-school bash, and there was a line to put him in the water. And it was so good to had backpacks to give out to a lot of the kids and stuff like that. And it was just good to see the community center and the NAS work together and get something that helps a lot of the children in the community. And also, I want to compliment again on the flowers and stuff at Veterans Way there. It's been all beautiful all summer, and everybody I talked to said it looks so good. And I saw Becky and her husband were both working hard watering the plants every day, and they're so dedicated keeping that up. And I appreciate what you do there, Becky.
Anything else, anyone?
I do.
Go ahead.
Sorry, thank you. Bob brought it to my attention the last time we met. I want to give kudos to whoever painted the garage next door. It looks very nice. We appreciate your efforts, whoever you are.
Ms. D.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay.
And
She
her
was out there.
friend,
Yeah, oh, that's right, and her friend, yeah.
Dee from Hammer Time. Dee from Hammer Time, thank you very much for doing that. It is noticed by the village residents, and we want to acknowledge you on behalf of council, and thank you for all of your efforts in trying to beautify our village.
It looks
It
great.
does, doesn't it?
Yep.
Becky?
I just wanted to put on my Chamber of Commerce hat for a second and invite everyone out to our back-to-school shop hop this Saturday from 10 to 2. I believe there's 5 shops downtown that are participating in it, and good door prizes and sales and everything like that. And I also would like to mention again our gratitude to Ralph Ross for his 38 and a half years of service to this community. Small businesses are the backbone of our community, and we cannot survive without them. So I just really want to thank him and thank everyone that came out to celebrate with him. We had it looking nice in here, and he had quite a few visitors and told several stories, and it was really nice. So I just wanted to, thank him again and, encourage anyone that just to, make sure you try to patronize small businesses in our village when you can, and thank them for their dedication to this community. So that's all I have.
One comment on Ralph. Ralph is also serving on our fiscal oversight board, and his service there has been much appreciated as well. So
Great.
we hope to be out of that business, but he's been in it to win it for more than 5 years now, so.
And Ralph is going to become a snowbird soon, but he's still dedicated to his church, playing the piano, I think through the remainder of this year. So we went ahead also and asked him to do our tree lighting this year. So
Nice.
Christmas in the Village on December the 3rd, he will be lighting the tree as the illuminated parade comes, so.
That's a nice gesture, very nice. Okay, we have nothing else? We are adjourned. Thank you,
All
everyone.
right, thank you.